The story begins with the battle between humans and demons 10 years ago. With a lot of effort, the hero Max finally defeated the demon lord who, however, has 7 lives and can be resurrected even if she is dead. To defeat the hero as soon as possible, the demon lord only slept for 10 years before she brings back her life. The secretary Xania immediately prepares several sets of clothes for children for the demon lord. The demon lord doesn't care about appearance and she just wants to know how Max the hero is doing. In her opinion, Max has the power to defeat the demon lord, so 10 years later he must be better than before, and it is not surprising even if he is dubbed royalty. Xania tells the demon lord that Max has so far not been seen in political circles and social places. The demon lord is so surprised that she guesses that Max might be practicing in some mountain. Strangely, Xania doesn't seem to want her to pay too much attention to Max. She thinks that the hero is just an ordinary human who can get sick and die, and that the demon lord doesn't have to be obsessed with Max. The demon lord, worried that something is wrong with Max, uses her third eye to check on him. After searching, the demon lord discovers Max's life force and where he is, and she wants to meet him immediately. Xania asks the demon lord not to go to Max or she will regret it, but the demon lord doesn't follow her words. She was resurrected early because she wants to defeat Max. Knowing that Max is near the royal capital of the human world, she creates a pair of wings and flies to the royal capital to meet him. During then, the demon lord discovers that human civilization has improved much more than she remembered and the royal capital has become very prosperous. Finally, she lands at Max's residence. After entering, she meets a slacker in a room full of garbage. At first, the demon lord thought she was in the wrong place. It isn't until she sees a holy blade in the corner that she is sure the man is Max. He has changed dramatically in the past decade. Now he is weak and even his chiseled jawline almost disappears. He lives in a dirty room and has a very bad day every day. The demon lord is very disappointed in Max. After scouring around the room, she becomes interested in Max's laptop. She knows it is a tool for humans to gain intelligence and wants to experience its function. At this point, the demon lord thinks of her purpose in coming to Max. Following her original plan, she swears to Max that she will definitely rule the human world completely. But she never expects that Max has already lost his fighting spirit and has no interest in fighting. Max tells the demon lord that the value of his living has vanished since he fought off the demon race. He not only didn't get a reward but was also persecuted. In a peaceful world, the hero is just a useless encumbrance. The demon lord is furious. She uses the laptop to search for Max's name and sees a lot of his scandals. The first one is that Max is suspected of having an extramarital affair. The demon lord watches the video of the interview and finds that Max looks very guilty. Max explains that he was framed by a hero hunter who approached him just to get his money. The second scandal is that Max committed violence against ordinary people. Max replies that he was beaten by 6 hooligans and that he was only in self-defense. The third scandal is that Max was dating 10 women at the same time. Max is very innocent. He swears it was out-and-out lies created by the reporter and he doesn't know any of the 10 women.
Of course.
The demon lord thinks the news is ridiculous but somewhat funny. To see Max's handsome side, she plays a video of Max's interview after defeating the demon lord. Max in the video looks extremely arrogant, no wonder someone will write about his scandals. After talking, the demon lord knows Max's experience over the years. She finds that he keeps pictures of him and his companions very well and guesses that he still cares about them. Before leaving, the demon lord deliberately threatens Max with his companions. She claims that she intends to attack the human world and that his friends will be her #1 target. Unexpectedly, Max reacts very calmly and he urges her to attack as soon as possible. The demon lord thinks Max has been a complete loser. She is so angry that she immediately attacks him. Unfortunately, her current strength is too weak. Max is still good at fighting and he knocks her down with just 1 blow. If you like my videos, you can support me by becoming a channel member, or you can donate me on Buy Me a Coffee. Your support will encourage me to make more videos. You can find links in the video description.
Yeah.
Upon waking up, the demon lord discovers that Max is browsing adult-only websites and is very disgusted by his behavior. She thinks Max is still as strong as he was a decade ago and she's looking forward to fighting him. But Max has long been tired of the world. No matter how the demon lord provokes him, he is not interested. However, the demon lord admires Max. She pretends to say goodbye to Max but in fact goes out to buy ingredients. She decides to stay in Max's house temporarily, partly to take care of him and partly to understand human society today. Upon her return, she prepares a hot pot meal for Max. From this day on, the demon lord and the hero Max officially live together. One day, Max decides to go out. The Demon Lord wants to go with him but he refuses. He asks the Demon Lord to hide the horns on her head and her third eye or he won't go out with her. After Max leaves, the Demon Lord casts magic to turn herself into a beautiful high school girl. Because her body has become bigger, she looks sexier in her original clothes. The Demon Lord doesn't notice the problem with her dress. She comes to the street and soon finds Max. Max is having a leisurely time. He drinks a bottle of beer and plays games with children in the park. At this time, the parents of one of the children suddenly urge him to go home. It turns out that the parents of the children do not want them to play with the hero. The other children explain the incident to Max and say goodbye to him. After they leave, Max falls asleep on a park bench. The Demon Lord is bored and doesn't think there's any need to keep tracking Max. Just as she is about to leave, 3 hooligans suddenly wake Max up. They think Max is weak and punch him hard. The Demon Lord hurriedly casts magic to put the hooligans to sleep. At this time, the Demon Lord's magic loses effect and Max doesn't see her sexy look. The next day, Max accidentally sees her on the balcony. The Demon Lord casts magic to transform herself every time she goes out. But when she returns home, she becomes a child again, causing Max not to recognize her. While they are eating, Xania suddenly arrives at Max's house. Xania doesn't know magic and she walks here from the demon world to ensure the safety of the Demon Lord. Hungry, she eats a large bowl of fried rice. After eating, she asks the Demon Lord to return to the demon world with her, only to be rejected. Therefore, Xania decides to defeat Max, prompting the Demon Lord to dispel her obsession with him. But before she can do anything, she is subdued by Max. Xania, conquered by Max's prowess, can only apologize to him. The Demon Lord is glad they reconcile. She asks Xania to take a shower first and gives her free access to the drinks in the fridge. However, her thoughtful actions trigger a series of embarrassing things. Xania collapses after drinking a beer and has a lot of physical contact with Max.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
She is so angry that she launches a fierce attack on Max, who jumps off the balcony to avoid Xania. While Xania is chasing Max, her bath towel accidentally drops. Eventually, she is arrested by the police for her improper appearance. Later, Xania decides to stay in the human world to ensure the safety of the Demon Lord. She rents the apartment next door to Max and becomes his neighbor. Meanwhile, the chief of the Bureau of Magic, Fred, sees the news online that Max is chased by someone. He can tell that Xania is a demon and decides to meet Max. Fred is one of Max's former party members. He was a monk before and is also very good at magic. One day, Fred met Max and his companion Leo while selling amulets, but not long after, a group of demons suddenly attacked them. They later became companions because they resisted the demon race together. Next, the scene jumps to Fred. On this day, Fred and his 2 subordinates go to Max's residence. Before he can enter the door, the Demon Lord and Max feel a strong mana. Max, worrying that the Demon Lord's identity will be revealed, tells her to hide first. Fred doesn't let his subordinates in and has a conversation with Max alone. 3 years ago, their former companion Leo betrayed the kingdom and established the Gamma Republic. Ostensibly a republic, they are actually a terrorist organization that illegally occupies the territory of the kingdom. There are many traitors and sociopaths who followed Leo in the organization, and its military power increased significantly. If they are not stopped, the country will be in danger. Fred, believing that sooner or later they will come into conflict with Leo, asks Max to join the Kingdom Army and fight alongside him. He knows exactly how strong Max is. As long as he can join the Kingdom Army, they will definitely be able to end this war without casualties. Max doesn't want to be a hero again, and he is immovable on this. No matter how Fred persuades him, he still rejects him. Before leaving, Fred plays his trump card. He reveals Max's dealings with the demons. If he does not return as a hero, he will make him a sinner of the kingdom. Max believes that Fred has no evidence to prove that he colludes with the demon. Fred is very confident. He claims to have detected a scent of a demon in the cabinet and finds it very terrifying. But when he opens the cabinet, he sees a female ghost. The ghost runs out of the cabinet, causing Fred to be so frightened that he flees as soon as possible. After rejecting Fred, Max worries about his future. The Demon Lord invites Max to join the demons, but he does not want to betray humans. The Demon Lord doesn't want to give up. In order to persuade Max to join her, she prepares a lot of photos of demon beauties and flips through them with him. Max sees Xania as soon as he opens the album, and he soon begins to resist. To make matters worse, except for Xania, the other demon beauties are all monsters and their appearances are very different from humans. The demon lord thinks Max is very picky and gets curious about his ideal type of girl. In fact, Max's ideal type of girl is exactly the same as her human outfit, so the demon lord casts magic to transform herself. Max recognizes her as the sexy girl he saw last time and his heart races. He can't help but keep staring at her, who blushes a little. At this time the doorbell rings. The demon lord guesses that Xania arrives and hurriedly changes back to her original form. Now her plan to tempt him with beautiful girls fails and the demon lord decides to use another method. She starts to tell Max about the benefits of being a demon. Because of Max's powerful strength, she is willing to pay him a salary of 2.5 million yen as well as various benefits. In addition, the members of the demon clan do not get sick, do not age, and have unlimited mana as well as an immortal soul that can be resurrected after death. As long as he becomes a member of the demon race, he can get rid of all the troubles and worries of mankind. Max rejects the demon lord's offer. In his opinion, becoming a member of the demon clan means that he will become another creature. He doesn't want to lose himself, nor does he want to be immortal. The demon lord feels it a great pity. Although Max rejects her, she still hopes that he will regain his fighting spirit and stop being dispirited. Max is persuaded by her and decides to find a way to make money. His plan is to become a live streamer and make money by shooting videos. Max's first video is about game live streaming. Because he is inarticulate plus he explains the game in a very boring way, his video only gets a few views, just like mine. Max doesn't think he is suitable for making such videos, so he edits various kinds of videos, all of which are criticized. Seeing Max disappointed, the demon lord feels sympathetic. At Max's request, she decides to help him shoot the video. She turns into a beautiful girl and live streams on the internet. Because she looks exquisite and has a hot figure, she has been supported by many people. Unfortunately, due to the inappropriate content of their live stream, their account has been officially banned. One day the demon lord goes shopping with Max. After arriving at the clothing store, she excitedly asks Max to help her choose clothes. It occurs to Max that the demon lord seems to be male. The demon lord doesn't care about it and she doesn't think it matters if she is male or female. In order to buy the clothes she usually wears, she takes Max to the children's clothing store. The clerk treats them as a couple, much to Max's embarrassment. But luckily they still have a pleasant day. At night, Max meets an old friend at the supermarket. She is Leo's subordinate and is named Inigo. Max decides to find a place to talk to Inigo and asks the demon lord to go home first. The demon lord is worried about Max and wants to follow him. At this time, Inigo's companion suddenly finds the demon lord and forces her to go with him to Max. During this time, the demon lord mentions the Gamma Republic and she believes Will is a terrorist. Her words anger Will. He pushes the demon lord against the wall, claiming they are not terrorists. At that time, the kingdom drove them to a very desolate place and it took them a lot of effort to get out of there. The demon lord hurriedly apologizes to Will. Based on Will's approach, she guesses that they are trying to win over Max against the kingdom. Meanwhile, Max tells Inigo that Fred once invited him to join the kingdom army. Knowing that Max rejected Fred, Inigo feels much more at ease. She gives Max a ticket to the Gamma Republic and invites him to join them. Embarrassingly, as soon as she finishes her words, Will appears in front of them with the demon lord. Will mistakenly thinks that demon lord and Max are a couple. He captures the demon lord with the aim of using her to force Max to agree. Inigo believes that threatening others is something that terrorists do and is very unhappy with Will's actions. Max strongly agrees with Inigo, plus the demon lord is not his girlfriend and he rejects Will. Will thinks Max is just a coward who even denies he has a girlfriend. Now Max has rejected them and Will claims he won't let them go easily. Max finds him very annoying. While he is humiliating the demon lord, he rushes forward and throws him into the sea.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
Inigo rescues Will and demands that he apologize to Max, who then accepts apology. After parting with them, the demon lord asks Max if he wants to join the Gamma Republic. Max doesn't want to be enemies with either Leo or Fred and remains neutral. The only thing he is interested in is the ticket given by Inigo. Tickets to the Gamma Republic are not sold in the kingdom and are hard to come by. After returning home, Max decides to sell tickets online. Not wanting to miss the opportunity to travel to the Gamma Republic, the demon lord stops him. She sets up a teleportation array in the cupboard so they can return home directly in case of an accident. She then casts magic to hypnotize Max and get him to agree to go with her. By the time Max regains consciousness, he is already on an airship to the Gamma Republic. The Demon Lord stresses that they are not here for tourism and that they should take this opportunity to investigate the Gamma Republic. Max sees her outfit and suspects she just wants to travel. Soon they arrive in the Gamma Republic. Leo and most of his old subordinates know Max, so the Demon Lord prepares a pair of funny glasses for him. As soon as they arrive in the Gamma Republic, they see a huge hot spring. While they are enjoying the hot spring with their feet, Max asks the Demon Lord why she is involved in the war between humans. The Demon Lord replies that she is only preparing for another invasion of the human world. If both the kingdom and the Gamma Republic are damaged, she can gain a big advantage. At this time, the Demon Lord suddenly hears someone shouting Leo's name. It turns out that Leo is stirring the water. The hot spring is far too hot to soak in now, but adding cold water directly will dilute the natural mineral content in the hot spring. Therefore, they will stir the water to the right temperature. Leo personally stirs the water and warmly welcomes the sightseers on site. Max hasn't seen Leo in a long time. At this moment, he feels that Leo is still the same as before and has never changed. They met at the kingdom's tournament. Although Leo lost to Max at the time, they became good friends. After soaking in the hot springs, the Demon Lord and Max check into a nearby hotel. They become interested in the table tennis table in the hotel and immediately start a fierce table tennis game. But in the end, the winner can't be decided because they both have great force and cause the table tennis to split in half. The Demon Lord sweats a lot and heads to take a shower as soon as she returns to her room. They are used to staying in one room both in the hotel and at home. At this time, the Demon Lord is still a beautiful girl. When she asks Max to help with the towel, Max is extremely shy. But he never expects that when the Demon Lord opens the door to get a towel, she turns back into a child again. Max feels it a pity that he can't see the sexy Demon Lord. After that, they have a very pleasant time in the Gamma Republic. Before leaving the Republic, they are attracted by Inigo, who is patrolling the streets. Inigo announces that it is currently forbidden to approach the border of the Republic and hopes that everyone will be careful. After hearing her words, two outsiders begin to discuss the reason why they cannot approach the border and guess it must be because of the dispute between the Republic and the Kingdom that causes the ordinary people to be banned from approaching. Max doesn't want to be associated with the war and decides to get out of here right away. At this time, a middle-aged woman selling local snacks tells them that there are often wars near the border and the locals have long been accustomed to it, asking them not to be worried. The Demon Lord thinks the opposite of Max. She sees this as a valuable opportunity to confirm the strength of both the Republic and the Kingdom. Coupled with the fact that they have not carried out reconnaissance in the past 2 days, she decides to take a look near the border. So against Max's wishes, she forcibly uses flying props to take him to the border. Because Max is so heavy, they accidentally fall when they land. Upon arrival, the Demon Lord and Max hide in the grass and use binoculars to check the battle. The Republic uses weapons that can fire magic. Even people who can't cast magic can fight with this weapon. Strangely, the Kingdom is much weaker than the Demon Lord imagined, and it has not caused any harm to the Republic. The Demon Lord feels that the war is like a child playing a game and it is not worth watching. Max is also puzzled. He does not understand why the weapons of the Kingdom cannot break through the walls of the Republic. In fact, it is true, and the situation is in a stalemate. The Kingdom's mage believes that the Republic has set up powerful magic devices that cause them to be difficult to break through their defense. What makes him feel most strange is that the Republic keeps shooting magic bombs loaded with sleeping spells at the Kingdom soldiers, and it seems that they have no intention of harming them. In order to defeat the Republic, the Kingdom mage decides to change tactics. He directly casts magic to attack the Republic soldiers on the walls. Inigo is shot in the arm by him and cannot continue fighting. At this time, Leo feels a strange demon aura and rushes near the border. He creates a hurricane with his spear and defeats the Kingdom's army with a single blow. The captain leading the Kingdom's soldiers is an acquaintance of Leo's. Leo warns the captain that the Republic will never compromise if the Kingdom still refuses to have a peaceful negotiation. The captain is also reluctant to change, and he insists that the Kingdom will not recognize the existence of the Republic. Just as they are arguing, the mage attacks Leo. Although he hits Leo, Leo is unharmed. Angry, he knocks down the mage fiercely. The captain knows very well that they are all no match for Leo, so he makes the decision to retreat. It is worth mentioning that the demon aura detected by Leo does not belong to the mage, but he has been unable to capture the specific location of the other party and can only give up looking for members of the demon clan. The Demon Lord doesn't know that Leo is so sensitive to the demon aura. As she intends to open the teleportation array, Leo discovers them through the teleportation spell. As soon as Max spots Leo, he flees with the Demon Lord. Since Max is wearing the funny glasses, Leo doesn't recognize him and asks him to hand the Demon Lord over to him, as he can tell that she is not a human. The Demon Lord casts magic to talk to Max in his heart. She asks Max to hand her over to Leo and run away alone. She has 7 lives. Even in the worst cases, she is able to come back to life. But Max rejects her. He challenges Leo to buy time for the Demon Lord to escape. Before the Demon Lord can summon the teleportation array, Max and Leo engage in a fierce fight. His glasses are shattered by Leo, revealing his face. Unexpectedly, Leo does not recognize him immediately. Finally, the Demon Lord successfully summons the teleportation array and calls for Max to leave with her. Leo hears Max's name and finally realizes that the person in front of him is his former friend. He asks Max why he appears on the border of the Republic with the member of the Demon Clan. Max says it is his privacy and does not answer his questions. He says hello to Leo and returns to their residence in the kingdom with the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord thinks the duel just now is very exciting. Because Max protected her, she hugs him tightly and thanks him. After this trip, the Demon Lord and Max become closer. At this time, they do not know that the female ghost living in the cupboard is very dissatisfied with them. They broke the cupboard door when they returned using the teleportation array, and she is very angry, wanting to kill them. The Demon Lord wants to give Xania the specialties of the Gamma Republic, only to find that she is not at home. In fact, Xania goes out because of the Demon Lord. Before the Demon Lord went out, she ordered Xania to investigate the Bureau of Magic where Fred works. Xania is dull, mistakenly thinking that the Demon Lord asked her to infiltrate the Bureau of Magic to investigate. The Bureau of Magic, an important government institution, is in charge of the kingdom's magic-based energy industry as well as the associated military factions. Xania goes to the back door of the Bureau of Magic and climbs up to the roof using a grappling hook. She then violently breaks the door lock on the roof. After entering the Bureau of Magic, Xania meets 2 staff members in succession. The Demon Lord once taught her that humans live a short life and cannot be revived after death, so they cannot kill humans indiscriminately. Thinking of this, she does not take the lives of the 2 staff members. To avoid encountering the staff again, Xania climbs up the vent. She passes the restaurant and the restroom before finally arriving at the computer room. After knocking out the staff in the computer room, she tries to steal intelligence from the computer. Unexpectedly, Fred suddenly appears in front of her. He senses the scent of a demon and comes to find Xania. Xania hurriedly takes out the smoke bomb, intending to take the opportunity to escape. To make matters worse, she is confused by the smoke bomb and gets disoriented. Fred easily captures her. He's very good at fishing for information. When communicating with Xania, he learns her name and her relationship with the Demon Lord. In addition, he recognizes Xania as the woman who chases Max in the news. Fred is disgusted with the members of the Demon Clan and asks Xania why she approaches Max. At this time, Fred's subordinate Lim comes to report. Minister Grims arrives at the Bureau of Magic and asks Fred to meet him as soon as possible. As a result, Fred is forced to interrupt the interrogation. Grims claims he wants Fred to help stop the war between the Kingdom and the Republic. Fred and Leo used to be good friends, and he doesn't understand why they become rivals. The Gamma area was once bleak. It wasn't until Leo discovered a large number of magic mines that the Gamma gradually prospered. Unexpectedly, someone framed Leo for accepting bribes, resulting in him being punished by the Kingdom. Leo couldn't accept that the Kingdom he believed in would doubt him. Enraged, he betrayed the Kingdom and founded the Gamma Republic. But the Gamma Republic did not directly endanger the Kingdom other than self-defense. Grims considers Leo a man with good characters and wants the 2 countries to coexist peacefully. As Fred was Leo's companion and is popular among people, he wants Fred's help. Fred is persuaded by Grims and grants his request. Meanwhile, Xania makes various requests to Lim in order to escape the Bureau of Magic before Fred returns, such as taking her to the bathroom, feeding her, and so on. Lim is very kind and agrees to all Xania's requests. Since Xania has never found a chance to escape, she decides to use special lube to get rid of the handcuffs. Lim discovers Xania's intention and warns her against making pointless attempts. Xania doesn't give up and forcibly breaks free of the handcuffs, but she underestimates Lim's strength. Lim is very good at manipulating flames and she traps Xania with fire. Just then there is a sudden bombing. Xania's body is hard that the bombing does not affect her in any way. As she is about to escape, she notices the unconscious Lim. She remembers Lim's care for her and can't bear to see her die. So she treats Lim first aid and takes her back to Max's house. The Demon Lord and Max have just returned from the Gamma Republic. They are shocked by Xania's involvement in the bombing of the Bureau of Magic. The Demon Lord senses the mana in Lim and wants to wheedle her into being her subordinate. When Lim wakes up, the Demon Lord transforms into a beautiful girl and lies that she saved her. She then uses her magic to confuse Lim, forcing her to sign the contract. If Max hadn't stopped the Demon Lord in time, Lim might have become a member of the Demon Clan. At Max's request, the Demon Lord and Xania apologize to Lim. The Demon Lord lies that her purpose is for Xania to investigate the Bureau of Magic and learn what humans do. Unexpectedly, Xania misunderstood her and infiltrated the Bureau of Magic. It was their personal behavior and Max doesn't know about it. After the death of the Demon Lord, the low-level demons like them have been living in poverty. Max not only does not dislike them but also takes them in. They are so moved that they decide to change themselves and live for humanity. The bombing at the Bureau of Magic has nothing to do with them. What the Demon Lord said is obviously a lie, but Lim believes her words. Xania is very curious about Lim's fire magic, speculating that she accidentally caused a bombing. Lim explains that her flames only burn or burn out under her control and there can be no accidents. That's when Lim gets a call from Fred. Knowing that Lim is at Max's house, Fred asks Max for an explanation. They agree to meet to discuss the bombing. But Fred is so afraid of the female ghost at Max's house that he decides to meet at a restaurant. Lim and Xania's story temporarily comes to an end, and let's jump to Grimm's story. It turns out that the bombing in the Bureau of Magic is related to the 9 ministers of the kingdom, and Grimm's does not really want to make peace with the Republic and is just testing Fred. The ministers who drove Leo to the Gamma area before are now gathered to set the blame for the bombing on the Republic and use it to wage war against the Republic. While the 9 ministers were in session, Max takes the Demon Lord to meet Fred. With transformation magic, the Demon Lord looks exactly like a human, and even Fred praises her magic. Although no human likes Max, he stays with 2 demon beauties every day and looks very happy. Max does not dare to reveal the true identity of the Demon Lord and does not refute Fred. Talking about the bombing, Fred says he is well aware that Xania has nothing to do with it. Xania doesn't know how to hide herself and has left traces all over the Bureau of Magic, apparently not the culprit. Max thinks things are settled and wants to get out of here right away, only to be stopped by Fred, who then speaks what he really thinks. In fact, he does not have such a strong desire to go to war with the Republic. Even if Max refuses to assist him, it doesn't matter. Putting the blame for the bombing on Max and the demons can also allow them to avoid a conflict with the Republic. Fred gives Max 2 options. One is to continue to be a hero and the other is to become an accomplice of the demon race. Max doesn't want to make a choice. He deliberately hugs the Demon Lord and claims to move with her to the Gamma Republic. Fred is very angry and asks if he really wants to be an enemy of the kingdom. On this topic, they have a heated argument. The Demon Lord hurriedly casts magic to stop them. In the end, they fail to reach an agreement and end the meeting. Interestingly, Fred seems to have guessed long ago that Max would not accede to his request. He put laxatives in the wine as punishment for Xania's infiltration into the Bureau of Magic. Later, the kingdom convicts the bombing in the Bureau of Magic as a terrorist attack launched by the Gamma Republic. Leo is furious when he sees the news. He thinks that the ministers of the kingdom are very despicable and decides not to consider the kingdom his homeland anymore. As the conflict between the 2 countries deepens, Grimm's has another conversation with Fred. He claims that as a result of the bombing, the Republic is now having a bad reputation among people. There is no doubt that the kingdom and the Republic can no longer live in peace. The problem now is that Leo is too powerful and it is difficult for them to win by ordinary means. But as long as they get rid of Leo, the Republic will soon collapse. Fred and Leo used to be good companions and Grimm's thinks only he can defeat Leo. Fred accepts the task of defeating Leo. Immediately afterwards, the kingdom holds a press conference announcing the official war against the Republic. Max watches the news with the Demon Lord and Xania. The TV reporter interviews several ordinary people, most of whom do not like war. Because Leo is a companion of the hero, some even believe that the hero is to blame for this war. Max feels depressed and he decides to go for a walk. The Demon Lord hurriedly transforms into a beautiful girl and follows him. During this time, they meet a little girl. Max often plays games with kids in the neighborhood and this little girl is one of them. At the suggestion of the little girl, they come to the park together to play badminton. The Demon Lord is worried about Max. While playing badminton with him, she asks him if he intends to stop the war. Max doesn't want to do anything. People will change and he is not the same person he was 10 years ago. He doesn't want to get involved in the war and he doesn't want to have any more contact with Fred and Leo. Demon Lord is very dissatisfied with Max's attitude and plays badminton harder and harder, causing the badminton game to be more and more intense. After the match, the little girl praises their strength and gives Max a candy, saying that someone has asked her to give it to him. Max guesses who the person is. He holds the candy and thinks the person is hinting at what he should do next, while Max is lost in thought Fred has already arrived at the border. In order to avoid casualties, he keeps the Kingdom Army in place and prevents the media and people from entering the Republic. He then casts magic to fly into the Republic and fight Leo. After that, he defeats two of Leo's subordinates, which is filmed by two reporters who sneak into the Republic. To their surprise, Fred spots their cameras but doesn't stop them. Soon after, Fred finds Leo. They haven't seen each other for years. As soon as he sees Leo, he can't help but complain that his long hair is ugly. Leo mentions that he and Max met before, lamenting that Max is as powerful as before. After a brief conversation, they decide to officially start the duel. It is worth mentioning that they all notice the camera not far away, but none of them care about it. To make the whole world see their duel more clearly, Fred casts magic to raise the stage where they are going to fight to a very high position. Before the duel begins, Fred and Leo reminisce about their previous time fighting together. Back then they were a team of 4. In addition to Max, there is a girl named Yuria. Yuria is a sorceress and her magic is more powerful than that of Fred. At that time they had a same goal, all aiming to defeat the Demon Lord. Neither Fred nor Leo knew that they would be rivals a dozen years later. Afterward, Fred and Leo have a fierce fight. Leo has a strong body. With Fred's strength, it's hard to defeat him. Soon, Fred is stabbed by Leo, but he doesn't throw in the towel. He takes advantage of Leo's distraction to choke him and casts healing magic on himself. Leo is very familiar with Fred's magic, as Fred used to always heal him with magic. He also knows that Fred can't defeat him at all. Fred has always been cautious in his actions, but strangely he challenges Leo alone this time, which makes Leo very surprised. Fred thinks Leo is too egotistical. If Leo had not established the Gamma Republic, there would have been no war. He's so upset with his approach that he vows to bring him down. Leo is also adamant. He believes that the kingdom should not come and rob them of their magic mines and hot springs after expelling them. Taking different positions, they are now no longer able to reach a settlement. The Demon Lord watches Fred and Leo's duel at home, and she's worried that they will be exhausted soon. Because they're both Max's companions, she wants him to stop them. Max is enraged by Demon Lord's words. He doesn't know what he can do for them or who he should help. No matter which one he chooses, he will be very sad. This is also the reason why he chooses to escape. The Demon Lord understands Max's thoughts, but she doesn't want him to keep avoiding it. To help Max, she travels to the Gamma Republic and stops Fred and Leo's duel. She then comes to the camera announcing that the Demon Lord has been resurrected and attacks Fred and Leo. Since her magic is too weak, she is immediately defeated by them. Seeing this, Max is furious. He guesses that the Demon Lord is forcing him to stop the duel and decides to grant her wish. Max speculates that it was Yuria who gave him the candy. Armed with a sword and the candy, he rides to the Gamma Republic. The strength of the hero remains at its peak, and he rides a bicycle faster than a flying airplane. Before Fred and Leo kill each other, Max arrives at the duel scene. He rides his bike into the air and dives down with his sword in hand. Unfortunately, he stands right between Fred and Leo and withstands the attack of both of them. Max falls to the ground and the candy in his pocket also falls out. In a flashback, we see Fred healing Leo, telling him that he's too reckless. Fred gives him an amulet which has the power to counteract low-level magic, and he is grateful for this, but Fred tells him that he should use it because healing him is becoming a hassle. Yuria wonders why Fred isn't being honest, because she knows that he is worried about Leo, but she thinks that Leo is also terrible because he doesn't realize that Fred actually cares for him. She watches them as they begin to argue, telling Max that he needs to interfere if anything happens between them. But he questions his capabilities, knowing that it's a huge responsibility. We return to the present and we see the people wondering who Max is, unable to recognize him as the great hero because he looks so old. The reporters interview George, who tells everyone to remain calm because the situation poses no danger to the citizens of the kingdom. But a reporter tells him that Max has joined the battle, and he is surprised to hear this. Fred asks Max why he showed up, and Leo thinks that he's there to help a kingdom in crisis. But this makes Fred upset, telling Leo that he isn't a big deal. They begin to argue as they both claim that they are fighting for what's right, but Max tells them to shut up, saying they are getting on his nerves, so he's going to defeat both of them. Fred tells him to mind his own business, but he tells them to go to hell, and the situation becomes tense, so they decide to have a fight where the last man standing wins. Fred uses his rings to attack Max, but he slices through them with tremendous force, covering the area in smoke. Leo charges at him, kicking him away and pressuring him with a series of attacks, commenting that Max has gotten slower compared to his prime. But Max activates his skill, launching a powerful slash, but he completely misses and Leo lands a hit on him, bringing him to his knees. Leo is about to finish him off, but Fred blasts the area, revealing that he is disappointed because Max didn't put up a good fight. Fred proceeds to launch a series of magical blasts, destroying the area around Max, and the relentless assault continues until he falls to the ground. Everyone starts to wonder if he's dead, and he realizes that he doesn't stand a chance, but a voice tells him not to give up. In a flashback, we see the heroes facing a powerful behemoth, and they are all struggling against it. Max tells them not to give up, but Fred wonders how they can defeat the monster because none of their attacks are working against it. He thinks that they are going to lose, but Urea hits him, saying they should fight with everything they have. She unleashes her powers and she stores it in a marble, which she forces down Max's throat, causing him to release a powerful energy. As Urea explains that he has entered a state called maximum drive, but it won't last long, so he needs to defeat the behemoth while he still has the chance. The behemoth attacks them, but Leo blocks the blast and Max charges at it, delivering a powerful blow. Back in the present, Max takes the candy which he got from the girl, but it's actually Urea's marble. He quickly consumes it, causing a pillar of light to pierce the sky as his body starts overflowing with energy. An image of Urea appears, revealing that she left a recorded message, and she tells him to defeat Leo and Fred before the effect was off. She reveals that she can't join the fight because she's pregnant, but she believes that Max will be able to deal with them. Fred is about to attack, but Max blows him away. He summons multiple rings, firing countless projectiles at Max, but he dodges all of them and he slices through the reins with blinding speed. Fred uses all of his energy to launch a powerful beam of light, but Max cuts it in half. Fred realizes that he's in danger, so he erects a barrier, but Max easily destroys it, releasing a shockwave that blows him away. Max starts fighting with Leo, kicking him away and attacking with tremendous strength, causing the ground to shatter. The intense battle continues in midair and they start exchanging blows, destroying the stage in the process. Meanwhile, William sees Demon Lord on the ground, so he helps her up and she instantly asks about Max. As the fight drags on, Leo's blade is destroyed, so he starts fighting with his fists. Fred observes the bow from a distance, blaming Leo and Max for the situation they're in. He thinks that Max won't be able to accomplish anything even if he wins, and Urea just made things worse by helping him, so Fred thinks that his friends are idiots. The fight reaches its climax and Max delivers a decisive blow, causing Leo to collapse, but Max senses a powerful energy as Fred summons a massive ball of light, preparing to wipe them out. However, a dark energy beam destroys it. As Demon Lord joins the fight, Fred realizes that she really is the Demon Lord and Max hits him with a powerful swing, causing them to crash to the ground. Max is the last man standing, but everyone wonders if this is a good thing because nobody knows what he wants. He grabs onto Fred and Leo and he takes them to where the camera can see them. He suddenly apologizes, knowing he and his friends have caused a mess, and he begs the viewers to tell him what he should do because he wants the conflict to end without violence. Max returns to the apartment where Demon Lord gives him a treat, calling him amazing because he saved his friends and ensured a future for the kingdom in the Republic. He says that he couldn't have done it alone, so he thanks Demon Lord for helping him out. At that moment, Xania enters the apartment and she starts begging for forgiveness. She reveals that she was using her laptop to analyze the data from the Magic Bureau when the data was stolen by a virus. But Demon Lord isn't bothered, saying she has already forgotten about it. Xania wonders why they're celebrating, so she shows her the news, and we learn that Max's actions shifted public opinion, changing the relationship between the kingdom and the Republic. The kingdom recognized Gamma as an autonomous territory and Max became popular because of his heroic deeds. Leo dashes through the forest, clearing the trees with ridiculous speed as everyone builds a road that connects Gamma to the kingdom. Annie gives the soldiers tea, reminding them that they are all part of the same kingdom. She reveals the group is happy about this because they never wanted to establish their own country and they were only fighting to protect the land that they worked hard to develop. At the Magic Bureau, we learned Lem was the one who stole the data from Xania. She gives it to Fred that it just turns out to be the footage from when Max was making videos. But the video suddenly glitches as the ghost makes its way to him. This causes him to freak out as the ghost comes out of the monitor, grabbing onto his face. We see the ministers in a meeting talking about how Max's video changed the situation. Fred joins them in the room and George reminds him that he used magic to attack Gelmuth, so he needs to be punished. For this, Fred says that he is ready to face whatever punishment is fit for him, so Reinhardt tells him that he should resign from his position as chief secretary. Fred agrees to this, but Reinhardt still thinks there was something strange about the explosion at the bureau, and Grimm suggests that it could be a magical experiment gone wrong. Reinhardt wonders what Fred has to say about this, thinking he must be behind the explosion. So Fred concludes that the ministers are going to turn him into a scapegoat, but he tells them to go ahead. The police enter the room, but they walked past Fred and they make their way to Grimm's. They tell him that he's under arrest, which is a surprise to him as he claims he wasn't behind the explosion, but they tell him that he is wanted for embezzling public funds. We learn that there is an unknown source that has been sending out data, and it includes a financial report from the Magic Bureau where the police learned that the Bureau's budget was being deposited to his account. So the other ministers disparage him, saying he doesn't deserve to be one of them, and the police start taking him away. He tells Fred that he didn't expect to be making such a bland exit, saying he is happy for Fred because his friends survived and he helped to avoid the war. But Grimm's tells him that he isn't a real man, calling him a loser who is tied down by his past. Minister wonders if Fred leaked the data that led to Grimm's arrest, and he says that he didn't do it, but he recalls that Xania broke into the bureau, so he realizes that she must be the one behind it. The Minsters note that they now have an open slot, so they offer Fred the position, thinking he has done so much for the kingdom, and Fred considers the offer. Meanwhile, Max walks around the city trying to keep a low profile, but he gets ambushed by the reporters and they start pestering him with questions. He tells them that he's busy quickly jumping away, but the reporters continue to pursue him. We see Uria watching them from a bench, and we learn that the girl who gave Max the candy is actually her daughter. Max returns to his apartment where he learns that Demon Lord was watching him escape from the reporters as Xania reveals that she was all over the news. He tells the demons that they should leave because they are his mortal enemies, and he is back to being a hero. Demon Lord tells him that he's still not the hero he used to be, reminding him that he won't be able to eat delicious food if they leave. Max is conflicted, thinking of all their food he has no choice but to agree to let them stay. And that's the end of the video. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I will bring more excitement anime in the future. Thanks for watching, bye.